Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the short answer. We are going to speak our piece in this particular gathering, and I'm thrilled to be here with you for exactly that purpose. And so I look forward to digging into that and all of its applications in our lives. And first, I have a few announcements to make just to make sure that our community is kept in touch. So thank you for joining us here on Facebook. And it's always such an amazing feeling that happens every time we come onto one of our programs together, whether it's the short answer, the masterclass following this, or the plethora of programs that we are doing together in these years, these past couple of years. So it's been a great joy, and I'm thrilled to say that we are continuing the process. Of course, we have a lot of new and fabulous things coming in the months to come. And we are currently starting a success mentorship program that is beginning at the end of this month on the 31st. And it is for anyone who would like to have more success happening in their lives, that is either a practitioner or a person that has life, that has relationships that they'd like to be successful in, that has dreams and desires that they'd like to be successful in understanding and manifesting them. And so we're going to be coming at it from every angle and ensuring that you get to have the life that you actually came here to have. And so there's Q&A and all kinds of exchanges that happen. It's a monthly call, lasts all year long, and it's a wonderful thing that I love stewarding for our folks. So know that that's coming up the end of the month. There is also an advanced practitioner training for those of you that have been trained in best technique and or spiritual best. You don't have to have taken spiritual best in order to do this. And best technique is a hands-on energy medicine technique. If you're not familiar with what that is, become familiar with what that is, because it's truly life-changing for you as a practitioner, and also for, of course, the many people that you can work with. You then will also have the opportunity to learn how to do that with distance, remote healing. And then this advanced course, if you have taken BEST, the foundational program with us, I'm teaching an advanced training next weekend. So it's teaching you additional techniques on top of what you've already learned as a best practitioner to manage your cases and understand what protocols that occur, working with various aspects of releases of all sorts of nature. So if you're interested in that, just contact us and we'll be sure and fill you in. All right. In addition to that, there was something else I was supposed to tell you. Oh, the monthly healing transmission is coming up Wednesday, March 30th. Please be there. Please be there. Please bring 10 friends and be there, because we're going to do something that is an extension of my short answer this evening. And we're going to be working with the globe, world peace, human consciousness, etc., for an impact, interested in an impact, interested in making a difference in the world. And so we want the thousands of people that are already coming to bring a dozen people, bring 5 friends, bring 1 friend, it doesn't matter, but bring something more than just your intention to do good in the world. Bring some people that we can share that with, right? Because in the numbers, we have the power to truly make a change inside of human consciousness. I'll talk about that in just a moment. So that's Wednesday, March 30th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm gonna make a note of something right here that I also want to remember to say tonight. All right, and then there is also, for those of you that have been through the Energy Codes foundational programs and you're up to level 3, we're doing a deep dive on March 31st and April 3rd, through April 3rd, March 31st through the 3rd of April, deep dive into the beautiful, wonderful capacity to self-heal. Big focus on healing and experiential exercises that will allow that to happen in guided meditations and breath work and deep channel breathing and all sorts of things that I can't wait to share with you. So we're going to do the deep dive, and that is March 31st through April 3rd. Be there. Okay, so you can be registered for level 3 or level 4, have taken level 3 and be able to join us for that. So that's all I have regarding those types of announcements. And now I want to dig into something that really matters a lot to me. It matters immensely to me. It is definitely why I'm on the planet, and it is why you're on the planet too, or you wouldn't be. I know this because you're plugged in here with me, and that is the intention behind what we are doing here. So the short answer this evening is about speak your piece, and it is truly this. What is happening on the planet right now is an invitation for us to understand what peace is to a deeper degree than we have known before. And had we mastered it before, we would not be in these circumstances on our planet. We would be in different circumstances on our planet. And so the fact that we are in turmoil and that ridiculous things are occurring and the world is having to make decisions, what do we do? How do we be here? And us as individuals are wanting to know, how can I make a difference? What can happen here that will be of benefit to the circumstances and simultaneously to my life and to myself, knowing that I have done everything that I can do. And this is a beautiful part about humanity. We want to know that we've done everything that we can do. And so I'm going to share with you some practices that you can do to ensure that you are. We have to remember that the number one thing that needs to happen here is that human consciousness needs to mature. We need to spiritually mature our minds. And so that needs to happen on a global scale. And as we spiritually mature our minds, what that means is that we start living on what I call the front side of the model as a creative presence, a beneficial creative presence on the surface of this planet. And so, wow, what's that mean? And how does it apply to our immediate circumstances? Here's what happens. We listen to the news because we want to know what's going on. We want to know at least whatever rendition of the news we're being exposed to. We want to know so that we can hold the space. And here's what matters relative to other conflicts that we've been in the last year or two. It doesn't really matter if you feel that this television station gives you the accurate news, or this newspaper, or a different television station, et cetera. What matters is what you do with what you hear. What matters is what you do, how you respond to what is happening in this world. And what we know is happening in this world is a lot of conflict, internal conflict, conflict between individuals, conflict between beliefs, conflict between countries, et cetera. It's completely holographic, and it is a beautiful outpicturing of what's going on. And it's time for it to be different. It's time for us to do something differently with our own minds, because that is why we come to this planet. We come to learn to refine the mind, to serve the soul. That's it. But what has happened since we've landed here is that we've been splatted, and we've been face down in the minefield. We come up and the mind is stuck. We're identified with the mind and all of its tumultuous happenings. The mind is based in duality. It's always going to have roller coastering experiences. It's going to love something and hate something else. It's going to judge this as right or wrong, and it's going to get caught up in the juice of all of that story. And the problem with that is that it has nothing to do with why we came. We came to actually arrest the mind's bullying tendency to override the heart, to override the soul, to override what is authentically, actually real and true. It overrides it by trying to control circumstances and dialogues and opinions of others and conversations, etc. It goes so far as to try to control the lives of other people. We are witnessing that in an amazing way right now with what's happening in Ukraine. And I would love if everyone would just open your hearts in this moment and send some love and send some grounded love while you stand in this very conversation. And I'm going to share with you a little something else that I feel that we can do for the peoples that are being, impacted the way that they are on the planet there. So we'll get to that in just a moment. So here's what we want to recognize. When we are present to the purpose of being here, that purpose can fulfill more gracefully. It can fulfill more easily and naturally, and it's supposed to. And so when we landed here and we splatted and we got attached to the mind and we get so hooked in to its opinions and its ways of being and its attempt to control because it doesn't know what else to do, we have to tell the mind that sometimes it's not its job to be the doing, that sometimes the mind has to listen and receive and observe and perceive and sense and, goodness help us, feel. And so often people are afraid to feel because what's in there seems like a monster. And so they project their opinions and their thinking onto every moment that could have created an authentic, grounded, loving moment. And instead, it marginalizes and causes the self-talk that is self-doubting and self-loathing and all of the things that our world has become. And if it can't handle the self-judgment, it throws it on to everyone else because it's just too painful to hold it all. So I have to judge this and judge this and judge this and judge this so that I can get this judgment out of me. All of it is a big mess. And all of it is, we are being beckoned, we are being begged truly to get a handle on that, to transcend it, to transform it, to transmute it into something else. And so let's take a look at how do we engage? How do we express ourselves? How do we exchange with others? How is it happening? Do we listen? Do we allow? Do we allow live and let live? Do we allow ourselves to stand for what we know is right and true? Or do we get talked out of it because someone else has a stronger opinion, because someone else is better at shaming us into thinking the way they think? Do we succumb and abdicate in times where we really do know? So I want to ask you this question. How many times have you been in your life in a situation that you felt something, you knew it to be true, you overrode it because whatever reason, somebody else was smarter, somebody else knew the rules, somebody else was further along in the food chain than you were in some corporate setting or in some family setting for that matter. And so you stuffed it down, you shoved it in there and you overrode it and you did the right thing, or you did the thing that was safe, or you did the thing that you just thought you were supposed to be doing. So if you can think of a time in your life that has happened, and I assure you it has happened. So I'm not going to ask you if you've had a time like that. I'm going to ask you to do your best in the next 24 hours to remember some of those times. And then later, and here's the real point, later you realized, oh my gosh, I did know. After it turned out the way they said it would, or after it went a different way than they said it would, or after you took the actions that you were advised to take, or that it was being pressed upon you that you had to take, when it was all said and done, and then you realize, oh my goodness, if only I could have steered that situation, if only I could have lent my voice to that a little bit more, then perhaps it would have turned out differently. Or you might be saying, I did know, even though I suppressed it and shut my mouth and, tried to do what I was supposed to do. That isn't at all what actually needed to happen. And I did know what was right. I did know the real thing. We are made of the real thing, you guys. We're made of the real thing. When it's in your heart and it's rising up to your awareness and you are grounded in your body and you're grounded to the earth and the ways that we teach inside of the energy codes, nothing will pass through you that isn't real. And if your mind has been spiritually matured, if your mind has been tamed to serve the soul, then it will automatically allow whatever you are feeling to be valid. No matter if you were ever told you're just not smart enough, or you're stupid, or you innocently got arrested inside of some accident that happened. You did something accidentally and you got reprimanded for it. And some impression was impressed upon you in that moment. There's something wrong with me. And every single moment in your life since then, you've been living that out as if it was true. And maybe you tried to compensate for it by becoming super smart or super nice or super giving or super something. And here's what I want to share with you. I've been speaking with some of our practitioners today about this. You will never earn enough brownie points to outrun the fact that you have an impression in here that there's something wrong or missing or broken. And it's not true, but it might as well be true because it's running our lives. And it leads to, if left untapped, living a life that is no fun living a life that is stressful. And then we feel rewarded if we were victorious over the stress, none of which is necessary. The only thing of which is appropriate is for us to realize we are made of the knowing. We do know. We do know. And so the next time your own mind starts to circumvent what's actually felt and true for you and acquiesce and do something that isn't authentic, let's just have a conversation with it and say, you know, you're not doing that with me anymore. That's not what's going to happen here. The next time you're in a conversation with someone else who tries to bully you into seeing things their way. Oh, so what? You think if you do that, it's not good enough? It's not good enough for you to do it my way? Oh, you need to do it your way? Sure. And tries to shame you into seeing it their way or argue their way and build a better case for you. Same. No, thank you. We're not doing that. We're going to have a loving, kind, respectful conversation. We're going to speak into each person's wants and needs. We're going to listen from the mind into the soul and into the heart. And in conversations with other people, we're going to listen to their heart. We're going to hear as if what they're saying has heart and meaning, and we're going to find a way to meet them in the middle. We're going to truly celebrate the human experience, which is the opportunity to come here as an individual, but part of a whole. And it's an honor and a privilege to do that. And as we start behaving as if it's true inside of ourselves and with those that we engage with, then what happens is peace is what comes out of us. We speak it, we emanate it, we radiate it, we walk it, we talk it, because we are that in our true nature. In our true natural state, you are brilliant. You are in the knowing. You are made of love. And so if we can train the mind, and we can, that's why we came, if we can train the mind to serve that, then peace is what is spoken on this planet. And so my invitation to you is to start to notice, is your own mind bullying you? Is your own mind bullying you? Are you allowing others to do that to you in moments of integral conversation, in moments of decision-making in your life, in moments of living this life? Is anything being allowed to take that kind of power over you? Because we are in the circumstance that we are in with, you know, this potential of a massive global war, which hopefully it will not be. Hopefully it will be that this will find the corner in which it is diffused. And our way of contributing to that is for each of us to raise our vibration in these ways that I'm speaking about. We can literally lift the vibration of human consciousness. We can have an impact on those that think they need to take control of and harm others to get what they think they need. It simply isn't within the laws of the universe. It's not natural law for this to be happening unless so much of our true nature is being suppressed to the degree that it requires something like this for us to rise. But to rise with fist is not the answer unless that fist is over your heart and causing you to pay deep attention to what's in there. Because when that's happening, something more true will come out of you. So I have another invitation for you. A friend of mine, Neil Donald Walsh, contacted me the other evening and said that he wanted all of the teachers to begin to do this. And I definitely want to participate in it with you. So we're inviting our communities with lots of other teachers. You're going to start to hear some of this. And it will be the equivalent to 1 o'clock Eastern time, both in the middle of the day and 1 o'clock in the morning. How you can calculate that to whatever works in your place of the world that you sit in right now as our global family is gathered together in this moment. But it will be the equivalent to 1 o'clock Eastern time, AM and PM. So it might be 10 o'clock AM and PM. It might be 7 o'clock AM and PM, wherever you are. We're all going to, on an everyday basis, do something for 30 minutes that raises our vibration. We're going to be focusing on the very conversation that I'm having with you right now. We're going to be focusing on our breath work and anchoring in the body and opening the heart and allowing love to flow through us. We don't have to push the love or point the love in any particular fashion. It knows where to go. It knows what to do. But we do have to fuel this bandwidth of human consciousness in the opportunity. And that opportunity is by raising our vibrational frequency. Beautiful byproduct of this for you personally is you're going to heal more. Things are going to rise up inside of you that you realize are time to come up, and you're going to embrace them, whatever they are. If it's fear, if it's anger, if it's angst, whatever, if it's self-doubt or fury, it does not matter. Just embrace it and love into it. Because what is real is the biggest power that you have. What is real and rising in you is the greatest power on the planet. The power of 1,000 suns fuels it, my friends. So let's tap it and let's allow this moment to be a moment that we begin engaging consciously, being our peace, of course, breathing our peace, and naturally speaking our peace into every circumstance. Let's look to the yes. Look for the yes. Look for the uplifted version of everything that's running through that mind. And let's begin to tame this mind so that it doesn't have to pillage innocent people in their beautiful spaces in order to get what it thinks it needs, so that the mind doesn't have to infiltrate into the beautiful, loving space within your own heart individually in order to get what it thinks it needs. All it really needs is a purpose. And its purpose is to serve the soul. And the soul is love embodied. So let us begin. All right. It's a great joy to spend the short answer with you. And I am so grateful for you for participating with us. Please do join us for the healing transmission on the Wednesday, the 30th, so that we can expound upon this and truly emphasize it into the global consciousness. And so much love to you all. I'll be continuing on, I'm sure, with this topic and others as we join it together inside the masterclass, which is an interactive opportunity for you to ask your questions and have them answered and woven together inside of truly the greatest story ever told. And it is the story of you. So I'll see you there in the masterclass, and I so look forward. And thank you again for joining me for the short answer. Much, much love to everyone, and peace.